Peace and blessings, everyone. Thanks for everyone for tuning in. This is Coach Ed. I have a special show today that I want to bring to you in my series of Women in Sports. Um, I'm truly honored to have a good friend, someone that I've known for many, many years. Um, Mrs. Tammy Thompson. She is a woman who I have known for so long that has been involved in football, and the things that she does for the level of football is very impressive. I'm not saying on the national level like the NFL, but in itself, what she does, it's really something that is so positive and exciting in itself. So, I'm really pleased to have her aboard. Everyone, I want to welcome her to the show. Thank you, Tammy, for joining Coach Ed's Amazing World of Sports. How are you doing today?
I'm fine, Ed. How about yourself?
I'm magnificent as always. So thank you. You know how we do. Um, but before we really get into the show today, everyone, if you're new to the show, new to my channel, thank you for tuning in. Just make sure you subscribe, hit the notification button so you know when I put up new programming. And everyone, make sure you like and share on all your social media platforms so we can continue to get this program out there to everyone out there. So I really appreciate it. Also, in the description, if you want more information on Tammy and the league that she's associated with, it'll be there. It'll have her website, it'll have their Facebook, even their YouTube channel. The league that she's a part of is called the League of All League Alliance. And Tammy is actually the CEO and the owner of the league. Now, I've dealt with football well over 40 years, and that's something that you don't run across a woman in a dominant position in a male dominant sport like that. And it's very impressive. And ladies and gentlemen, when I tell you, she knows what she's doing. She knows football very well. I've been associated with her now, probably about 16, 17 years, somewhere in that range, almost close to 20 years. So,
20 years.
and yeah, so she knows exactly um, what she's doing when it comes to football. So, Tammy, talk to the people. Tell them what got you started in football.
Well, first, you have to understand that I grew up with just all boys.
Hmm.
So, all my life, I've always competed sports. I'm saying from football to basketball to track to softball, even wrestling and karate. So,
Mm,
everything that we were allowed to do, like I excelled at. I had to compete with all my brothers to get to the next level.
hmm.
So, but when it came to football, back during the day, you couldn't tell me I was like Lynn Swan, Franco Harris. I was Terry Bradshaw. Even after my brothers gave me a concussion and broke my leg, like I was still in it. It's more like that was just my knack. Between that
Hmm.
and softball, I loved it. So I just kept going on with it. After my brothers and everything, I played for 3 years myself.
Hmm.
I coached. Of course,
Hmm.
I own because you was one of my
Hmm.
coaches.
Hmm.
I GM'd. I first started off as a teen mom because my son, I had started him very
Hmm.
little into, the peewees and all of that. So it just grew and grew and grew. And the more that I dealt with it and the more that I got more involved with it, you know, you start to understand and realize that you you really, really reach out and build a connection with all the players. Some
Hmm.
players either, their home is not stable or they need help with homework or
Hmm.
whatever. I found myself being so drawn to them to help them that like, it just kept going on and on and on. And even right now, with me working with adults, it's still basically the same thing. Everybody needs somebody that they know that they can count on, that's going to back them, that's going to support them, that's going to help them either with jobs or getting back to school or just getting to the next level. Because a lot of
Mhm.
these guys, they're young coming in. The older guys, they still have that drive, that love for the game, which I
Mhm.
understand and respect that so much because they can't do it anymore. So they get back their time either playing or coaching or whatever. They just need to be a part. So
Hmm. That's a great level of involvement in being associated with football. I mean, it definitely shows why you do this, because you're touching and helping other young people get involved with football. And it helps teach them different life skills. So, but what does it give you personally? Being involved with football.
personally,
Hmm.
right now, the level of football that I'm in,
Hmm.
people call it semi pro, people call it adult. Me personally, I look at it as if we're rebuilding this level. This
Hmm.
level at one time it was so excelled that like we had people coming out looking at our players, to
Hmm.
really go to the next level or to go into college or whatever. But somewhere along the line, semi-pro adult football, it turned to the worst. And I
Hmm.
gotta say that because the difference is now is the mentality of the owners and the players. That's why
Hmm.
with the league that I am, it's developmental because I'm working from the outside in. When I say the outside in, it's more like I have to start with my owners. All
Mhm.
my owners, I need to help them understand that it's still a business. So
Mhm.
right now, we're working with our owners to be better businessmen so
Mhm.
that they can have the profitable that they need to really establish a well-rounded organization. Not a team, but an organization.
Mhm.
With an
Mhm.
organization, once you well-rounded and you're established and you have financial gain, now you got a better pick of the litter of what kind of players that you really want on your team.
Y-
Because I know a lot of times everybody keep recycling the same old players, but they don't understand that those players are getting older,
Mhm.
so they're going to be leaving soon. Hopefully, they come. A lot of them do come back and coach,
Mhm.
but we still have a lot of young men and women that are still have that drive to play the sport that they love, which is football.
Mhm.
So we work with them, show them, give them different techniques of how to recruit, how to build their business, how to actually get sponsorships, so forth like that, so that we can have a more rounded collectible of players. Because there's a lot of players out there that don't know that they could still play the game that they love
Mhm. Mhm.
in a more recognizable, organized, and structured team.
Mhm. Mhm.
So, like I said, I'm working my way on my outside in because once the owners get more acclimated, which I have to say, the owners this year were phenomenal. Like whatever we decided to do from the business side, we did business from January to April because I know our season started in July, and a lot of our owners still coach. So I knew
Mhm.
once I got past April, the business hat goes off, and then the coaching
Mhm.
hat comes in.
Mhm. Mhm.
I
Mhm.
don't want to talk to coaches about business. We know that's not going to work.
Yes, I understand. I
Yeah, because
understand.
we focused on getting our players. We focused on making sure our fields and stuff is there. We looking at numbers. We recruiting players now. So I know after April, it's a wash.
Mhm. Mhm.
If all the standards are not set by April, I'm gonna have a problem. But all the owners were so in compliance. I have to say, like this year, my first year out, it was a phenomenal year only because of the owners that I had working with me and
Mhm.
beside me to make sure that everything got done. A lot of people would say, "Oh, well, this is your league." but I never looked at it as my league because I always believed that one person cannot run a league. I've been doing semi pro now for this is be my 17th year.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And, I sat up on, I coached for like 3 years before, I stepped down because everybody know that I had breast cancer and I closed my team down. But then I started working with the league.
Mm-hmm.
So I've excelled with that. I commissioned, I did VP, I did president of a league, but I wasn't doing it by myself. I always had, somebody there to back me, support me. This year,
Mm-hmm.
I had it all. And when
Mm-hmm.
I say basically I had it all, because this was actually my first year doing business. Football,
Mm-hmm.
I could do in my sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Football, I could coach the mess out of football. I love football. I understand the football side. But when it had to come to the business side, I actually had to go back, go to a whole lot of seminars so that I could be able and be better prepared to help these owners get on that next level as far as with their business. It
Okay.
wasn't that hard. It was hard, but it wasn't that hard only because, like I said, the group of owners that I had with me this year, they made it so much easier.
Okay.
You know?
Well, I want to touch on something that you said a little bit earlier,
Hmm.
because you said about helping the owners have a well-rounded organization, and that is something that is very important. I mean, I've been in the ownership position many times at this level, so I understand about being well-rounded. It's not just going out to play football. Sometimes you come in and that's all you think it is, but you start to understand the business side of it. As you said, you took seminars and you're now teaching that to the owners in your league, because they begin to understand that everything is business. It takes money to run a team. It takes so much effort, to market, to promote, to recruit. So the well-rounded aspect, I definitely want to say, you're doing a phenomenal job. You've done a phenomenal job, and I think that's something that is extremely important. What is it though your owners in the league have said to you about being well-rounded, the well-rounded approach that you have been bringing them and presenting to them? Do they feel that it is something that they can use outside of football in their lives, and maybe in starting their own personal business or anything, or just in their careers, utilizing to be better successful in their careers? Do you think that's something that they can take with them?
Well, honestly, um, quite a few of the owners did start their own business just from the information that I was providing them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Me myself, I was kind of didn't expect it. I just thought maybe they would have just left it at football, but
Mm-hmm.
also at the same time, we really encourage um, them getting out into the community, doing community active things, giving back.
Mhm, mhm,
So, believe it or not, we had no issues at all this year. Um, the owners at our closeout meeting, all of them was very happy with their season from the
mhm,
business side and from the field side. They did express that they wanted us to do more community service things together, which I was like, okay, we could work on that. Um, because a lot of a lot of community services we had intentions on doing, but different things came into play, so it kind of went a little stray. But I am working on getting more people involved to help out with like the community services, um, and so forth like that. Only because giving back to the community as an organization, as a league, as a strong dominant unit is very important because the owners themselves like to come together. They like to do things together. They like to give back and support other organizations. So even though some teams do it on their own, they like the camaraderie of everybody being together. So we're going to really work hard this year on really getting out there to different avenues, a lot of different communities as a unit because they feel as though it's better and stronger in numbers. So I told them, okay, that's not a problem. We could really do that. You know, the owners, they get along, they respect one another, they help one another, they help build each other up. And that's the kind of organization that I was looking forward to because everybody needs to be on the same level and the same accord and understand that everybody needs one another. One person, one team
Mm-hmm.
cannot do
Mm-hmm.
it. So
Exactly.
we want to base it off of travel because right now the way the economy is, we want to make sure that even though we're teaching them the business side about how to go and fundraise, how to get sponsors, but at the same time we don't want to be neglectful with the funding that they have come in and have them travel 6 hours just to
Mm-hmm.
play a game. To
Mm-hmm.
me, I don't feel as though that the owners are financially established yet to do that. But in the
Mm-hmm.
future, we may be doing that. But right
Mm-hmm.
now, my responsibility is to help them be better business people, let them enjoy the game that they love, help
Mm-hmm.
them bring in the right quality of players that they feel as though that is a fit for their organization. It's very important that I make sure that they are well-rounded, strong individuals that work together because we all need one another. One person cannot do it, one team cannot excel by itself. You still need somebody else to play with.
Okay, I can definitely appreciate that. What type of community associations, like you said, you did a community outreach program. What
Hmm.
did you do? What was give us one. Just let us know about one.
We worked with the special needs this year. We had quite a few teams that volunteered,
Mm-hmm.
and we went to the special needs Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we
Mm-hmm.
had 5 teams that participated this year,
Mm-hmm.
and we had we had a ball. Even though I was tired because them kids got more energy than I do half the time. They just keep running and running and running.
Mm-hmm.
But it was so exciting just to see, to see their faces, how much they enjoyed it. And they are competitors. Just
Mm-hmm.
because they have special needs does not mean that they don't have that strive, they don't have that eagerness, they don't have that drive to finish, regardless. I don't care. If they had to take an extra couple of minutes, they was determined to finish. They had a heart, a goal that I just was like, wow, I couldn't believe it. And believe it or not, quite a few of the kids, they didn't want you to help them. They wanted to finish it on their own.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I can respect that because you know what? Their heart, their drive, like, yo, I was like, all right, let's do this. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
I eager them on. Be like, come on, let's go, let's go, let's go. We got this. Come on, don't matter. Yo, they wasn't giving up anyway. They just wanted somebody right along next to them, cheering them on, being supportive. And we did that. When I say I was exhausted because I did 2 camps in one day, I was
Mm-hmm.
exhausted, but I really had a ball. And we're looking forward to doing the Special Olympics again this year. We want to spread it out a little further, only because
Mm-hmm.
our teams are expanded.
Mm-hmm.
So we are going to go way further this year with the Special Olympics. We also work with the Ronald McDonald House down in
Mm-hmm.
Camden this Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we have like mental abuse awareness, all that stuff going on too. So it's more like we just keep going and going and going. We're going to really, really work very hard this year because we already said that our mantra for this year will be giving back to different charities, different organizations. That's our mantra this year. Our kickoff classic game is going to mental awareness,
Mm-hmm.
self awareness,
Mm-hmm.
and health. So we already said we already working on that, getting the emergency vans and stuff out there. We're working with mental awareness. So we're reaching out to organizations now for our kickoff the July 28th, 29th weekend.
Okay. See, and I appreciate that because I was going to talk to you about your league model. And I noticed that the league model, it says a league beyond the game, and that's what it looks like you're pointing to. That it's not just about being on the field and competing. It's working together. The camaraderie. Anybody who's ever been involved with football, football is the ultimate team sport. It's dependent on everyone on that field executing their assignments. And as you're doing in the league, it's the same thing. And then going out in the community, you're teaching, everyone is needed for everyone to be successful. So, you know, is that kind of where you were heading with the league model, a league beyond the game, not just being out on the field, but being out
Not
in the
just being out
community?
on the field. No.
Hmm.
Because, we stride ourselves with the unity of our owners, the unity of our players. They're competitors, but they're
Hmm.
so respectful. They could play the game, win, lose, or draw. We have no fights, no issues. Everybody still show love. We still meet up in the middle, say our Lord's Prayer, everything, so forth like that. So the unity aspect is real big with the League of All Leagues.
Hmm.
Giving
Hmm.
back to the community, being about the community, you know, that's another big mantra that we all follow. That's why I say it's just more than just football. It's
Hmm.
more than
Hmm.
just football because as a whole, as a unit, as you know, everybody loved the game of football. But
Hmm.
I feel as though with the game of football, it could lead to so many different avenues of where, for the players' perspective, going to the next level, going back to school, getting that recognition that they deserve, what they go out there and they fight hard for week after week on the field. The owners sitting there, scratching their heads, trying to do business and football, trying to make sure that the organization has everything that the league standards require. Like, it's a lot. It's a lot on the owners. I know it's a lot on the players because the players don't like some of the rules that we put in. And yeah, because
Yes.
they tore me up this year about that extra point, the 2 point rule. They
Hmm.
they tore me up. But at the end of the day, guess what? They realize now that they say this is their NFL. NFL teams have kickers. And I
Hmm.
couldn't go to a game and I see kickers on the sideline just kicking in the net. No.
Hmm.
They need to
Hmm.
be just as part, just like everybody else. So now if they want that extra 2 points, they better kick it.
Hmm.
Otherwise, if you run it in or you pass it in, it's only going to be 1 point. And I know they say, oh, that's Pop Warner rules. But my whole thing is, I put it in place only because we need to build a stronger front. Like, if we're going to say we're doing football, NFL has kickers. Kickers should
Hmm.
not be just playing kicking to themselves in the net on the sideline.
Hmm.
Everybody should feel a part. Everybody should be able to participate in the game that they love.
Hmm.
I know
Hmm.
the players almost they didn't like it, but guess what? At the end of the day, they loved it. And they showed that they had a better play for the sport. The score, instead of the score being like 40 to 12, it was like 19 to 17 because they knew, oh, I got a kicker, so I could definitely win
Hmm. Hmm.
extra points. So they started realizing that it was more of a benefit versus being a negative. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
Hmm. Hmm.
Guess what? This year, I guarantee you, right now, I already know four of those teams they got kickers already for this year.
I'm just going to give the fans, those watching, a little insight. A lot of times on the minor league, semi-pro level, you don't get field goal kickers out there. And in most levels of football, from high school up, you do have a kicker, and a kicker is needed even for field goals because those 3 points, you know, come to play. Case in point, my favorite team lost this weekend because of a field goal. So it's important to have that. And yes, I understand exactly what she's talking about, in terms of kicking for 2 points as opposed to running or passing in like you do in the NFL and in college. But yes, that's a very smart move to transition and then help teams go out and recruit. So, those who are out there who might wonder, well, why? When you get to this level, a lot of times kickers, you don't find a lot of teams with kickers, and that's across the country. That's not just in this area or this in this league. That's across the country because a lot of teams do not recruit kickers, or there is this perception of the kicker is not important when ultimately the kicker is just as important as every other player. It's a special skill, not just kicking the ball through the goalpost, but kicking off. So many times you find guys who say, I can kick the ball, and the ball only goes 20, 30 yards. And then the other team is already across the 50-yard line, where at least if they can get it down to the 10-yard line, you give your team a better opportunity to compete and not have to play with a short field. So for those of you who might wonder, that's the reason why, she was saying that about the kicker. So um, now, I love how you enlighten us on some of the aspects of the league, what it's about, and you being the head, the CEO of the league. But where is the league of all league located, and what about the teams? Where are they all located? I mean, who ended up winning the championship this year?
Well, the League of All Leagues this year for 2022, we had teams in North Jersey, South Jersey, Philly, and we had one New York team.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, this was our first year out, and the winner was the Overbrook Ducks. The Overbrook Ducks are from West Philly.
Hmm.
Okay, but we have teams. We have the New Jersey Hawkeyes. They are in Roselle.
Hmm.
We have the Jersey Sharks. They in Edison.
Hmm.
We have Central Jersey Vikings. They were in Plainfield,
Hmm.
South Plainfield. All right. Then we had the Tri County Owls. They were in Camden, New Jersey.
Hmm.
Then we had the Path Academy Assassins. They were in Willenboro.
Hmm.
We had the Brick City Tigers. They were based out of Newark.
Hmm.
We had also the Northeast Panthers. They were out of Northeast Philly.
Hmm.
And then we also had Coach G. Coach G is I got
Nassau Golden
the
Nassau
New
Golden
York,
Eagle.
yeah, the New York Golden Eagles, and they were out of Long Island.
Hmm. Hmm.
So we had quite a few teams throughout Jersey, New York, and PA.
Hmm.
This year, I can honestly say that we're getting we have more inquired teams coming from the Philly, New York area.
Hmm. Hmm.
So again, like I said, the league is growing, but how far it grows, honestly, we had a successful year with 10 teams, and I feel as though quality over quantity is always better.
Mhm. Mhm.
So
Mhm.
if we go from 10 to 14 teams, I feel as though that's good enough, only because 14 teams is manageable when you're dealing with owners so that you can accolade them more on the business and the community side. Football, everybody could do in their sleep, but the business and the community is where my really strong point is because everybody has to be involved.
Mhm. Mhm.
So
Okay.
14 teams, I look to see that for right now, my second year, I think that's enough.
Mhm.
I don't want to stray away from what we've already started building.
Mhm. Mhm.
So I want to make sure that we stay on the same path, that we continue to grow in the right way so that we could build this, level of football back to a reputable, connoisseur. So because this level needs to get back on a level where it's respected. Right
Mhm.
now, like I said, my league is developmental because we're working from the outside in. We're working with the
Mhm.
big, the community. And I'm not going to say that it's easy.
Mm-hmm.
It can be difficult at times.
Mm-hmm.
Me being a female, dealing with all the politics and makes me work three times as harder because I am that female. Um, Dealing with the players, dealing with the social media, like yo, I done kicked my back, done got my back kicked in so many times. Like it is what it is. Do it
Mm-hmm.
become overwhelming? Yes, it does. Do I need or do I reach out to support groups? Do I have people to support me mentally? Because mentally is the strongest. How can I say it? The mental stuff is the stuff that could really destroy a person, and
Mm-hmm.
people don't understand that. Even though your heart is in the right place and you're doing the right thing, just because your opinion you don't agree, that doesn't mean that your opinion is always right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, my whole thing is, as long as I'm doing it from the heart and this is the way and this is direction God is sending me, allowing me and using me to help grow these young men, these owners, these coaches, get them a different perspective, get them out into community. That's what I do. Regardless if they like it or not, you know,
Mm-hmm.
it's about how the owners and how the players and how their perspective is. Once they buy into it and they understand, okay, well, wow, I can see the growth, or I can see the advancement, or I'm getting a different look. That's why we did a YouTube channel so that the players can be able to see themselves. Like, I want the
Mm-hmm.
players to feel as though that they're involved with the league also. I just don't want them to feel as though that, oh, well, you just pay your dues to these teams and you don't matter. You do matter because without you, there's no team.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So I try to keep it well rounded.
that's an excellent point. As I said earlier, football is the ultimate team sport. And being on the team, it's not just about the players alone. It's about the coaches. It's about the owners. It's about the league itself. Everyone has to work together and understand that everyone needs everyone. Because if it was just strictly about one aspect, for example, just saying it was only about the players, then all the players would do is they would be able to just go out, play the games, and that's it. You wouldn't need coaches. You wouldn't need owners. But understanding that it takes money to get fields, to get uniforms, there's insurance. You also have to get referees, and you actually have to pay for referees. So yes, it's the ultimate team conglomeration from top to bottom. So it's not like basketball. You can just go out and play in a little rec league, show up with a basketball, jump on somebody's team, play 5-on-5, and that's it. You definitely have to really work, to play in a good league. Now, with your league, how do you have it structured from top to bottom? I mean, you're the CEO. Who do you have working with you? And then of course you have your owners, the teams themselves, and the teams have coaches and players. We get that. But what about the management? How is that structured um, in itself?
Well, like you said, I'm the CEO. Then I have Daryl. He used to have the Hudson Valley Mountaineers. He
Mm-hmm.
came on this year as the vice president of operations. Then I got John Shiskowski. Did I say his name right?
Shisnowski.
You know that one.
I get you. JP. Yes, we all know him as JP.
Yeah, he came on also as the commissioner of the league this year.
Mm-hmm.
We also have another commissioner for South Jersey, Philly area.
Mm-hmm.
Andreas and his wife Ruthie, they came on. They will be the commissioners for that area. And then we have our team owners. They are board members. So
Mm-hmm.
with the board members get to have a say or a vote of what teams will be joining them for this season.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Once the season starts, um, they lose their right to vote. Only
Mm-hmm.
because I don't have owners, I have coaches.
Mm-hmm. 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 Mm-hmm.
So then it'll be up to the structure of the CEO, the VP, myself, and the commissioners to actually be doing all the finding, if any, dealing with all the issues, if any.
Mm-hmm.
Because now I have to let my owners be coaches versus them trying to resolve other issues which could at sometimes, you know, be a controversy.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Understand conflict of interest. Yeah, yeah, that's a great point. So, yeah, and then again, that just shows you're being very smart and being very practical as a league. Because I've been involved with leagues. You were talking about the growth going from 10 to 14. I've been involved with leagues that you've had almost 100 teams in the league. So I understand where you're going. Sometimes start small, grow it, build your foundation, and then then add on to it. And now this way, in terms of running the structuring of the league, look, the coaches, the owners, we get it. They still have that love for being out there and competing. I understand that. I've been a owner, coach, player, whatever. I get where you're going. So
Yeah, because
yes.
you still a coach at heart yourself.
Yes, everyone knows me as Coach Ed. So yes, you're right. You're right. What do you say? I do coaching with my eyes closed. Yeah, you know that. You know
Mm,
that. So I get it. So, but yeah, that's a very smart and a very sound business approach in terms of um, how you're running the league. Now, you mentioned a little bit earlier about obstacles and challenges that you've had to face, especially being a woman in a male dominated sport. um do you think that once people have started to see who you are and how you handle and how you work, do you think that their perception begins to change about you? And also women as a whole being involved in football, do you think that it's helping to change their perception as far as women being involved with football or sports, or sports, just sports in general? It doesn't have to just be football, but overall, do you think that it's helping to break some of the stigmas that are out there about women involved with sports, especially like a male dominated sport like football?
well, I'm gonna speak from my experience, okay? Even though I know it's a lot of women out there that are really, really gung ho with sports, between the basketball, between football, whatever level. My perspective is I've been doing this for 17 years,
Mm-hmm.
okay? At this level.
Mm-hmm.
That's not including the levels of where when I coached as Pop Warner, none of
Mm-hmm.
that.
Mm-hmm.
At this level.
Mm-hmm.
And every day is still a fight. And I already know basically because I'm a female and because of other people and their opinions,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'll never get the full respect that I deserve at this level.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'll never get it. And I know that. And I'm fine with that.
Mm-hmm.
Because the people that I do involve myself with, the people that are around me, the people that are working with me to grow this in the right direction, it's all about their belief and how they perceive me. I can't keep worrying about the people that's on the outside because the people that are on the outside, they're always going to have their own agenda.
Mm-hmm.
There's always going to be somebody to kick your back in. It's always
Mm-hmm.
somebody that's not going to like you. But I can't continue to worry about those people. All I could do is stay focused, look forward, and move ahead. Those obstacles that's in front of me are the ones that I need to worry about. And
Okay.
it took me a while to understand that and to get that because believe it or not, mentally it's a lot for me as a woman in this line of football that mentally it was a lot on me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It was a
Mm-hmm.
lot on me. If I wasn't that contender, if I wasn't that strong competitor that but didn't believe that I couldn't do this, or if I listened to the people that said, "Oh, you shouldn't be doing this," or you're not good at this, I wouldn't be doing it. I would have quit a long time ago. But my whole thing is, at the end of the day, I love football. I love this level, and the only reason why the League of All League exists is because 8 men pushed me off the ledge last year. Yeah, you laugh because you was one of them.
Yeah. Okay.
Pushed me off the ledge last year saying, "Oh, we got your back. Come on, you could do it."
Mm-hmm.
Those men had total faith that we could do it. And we did it for our first year. We really did it our first year. Surprisingly, like everything went not smoothly, but I couldn't expected it to end any other way. We started it, we finished, we didn't have any big issues or anything of a sort like that. All the owners worked together. If I needed to cry, yell, or whatever, it didn't matter. If it was like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, I could pick up the phone.
Mm.
They
Mhm.
cussed me out, but they still
Mhm.
but they were there. They were
Mhm.
there. Honestly, women could do whatever they want, but I've learned that it takes a strong mind to do what we do, especially in sports, because the belief is that sports is for men. I see a lot of women now are getting more and more into the sports and not just playing. I'm talking about even from the executive positions,
Mhm.
even to
Mhm.
coaching. Like women are really excelling because they have that knack, they have that drive, they have that determination. But I guarantee you, they go through a lot of mental just as I do. Long as they
Mhm.
got a good support system, somebody that they can really lean on that's going to help them stay focused and stay driven, they can excel as high as they want.
Mhm.
But women have it rough, not just on the field, but through all the politics, through everything. When it comes to sports, us women, like, yo, I know that it's hard, but you can do it. Just get you a
Mhm.
good, strong support group. Because if this is what you really want to do and this is where your heart is at, you can do it.
Mhm. Mhm.
It's not going to
Mhm.
be easy because the men not going to let it be easy.
Mhm. Mhm. You're right about that.
Because there's a lot of coaches out there that got a problem with me because I know more football than they do.
Mm.
But am
Mm.
I supposed to be upset about that? No, that ain't my fault.
Mhm. Mhm.
I've been doing football since I can remember, 3 years old on up. I had no
Mm.
choice. I loved it. I got into it. I even used to compete against Ed, you know, him and Ronnie Page, like, yo.
Mhm.
And that's what we had to do. We learn
Mhm.
from one another,
Mhm.
and that's what it's about. Keep strong, positive people around you. People that's going to help you mentally grow, people that's going to always, always be truthful with you,
Mhm.
and you'll be fine. But if you're going to be weak minded and you're going to submit, it's not going to work. It's not going to work.
Now you were just talking about women, and the issues, and what do you feel you're doing to give women the opportunity to be involved in this level of football?
Well, at this level, well, I do have one woman owner,
Mm-hmm.
um, and she's with the New Jersey Hawkeyes.
Mm-hmm.
And I would really love to see more women come out. I would love to see them get more involved.
Mm-hmm.
I feel as though that, not to be chauvinistic or anything, but it's a difference between a woman and a male when you're giving guidance to these young men.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Men are closer to mothers. They really are. And if they could really respect you and open up to you and communicate with you and let you know how you're feeling or what's going on, like, that's to me is where all my life skills come into play. Like if they need a job or whatever, like I feel accountable to help them out. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Mm-hmm.
if they respect me enough and trust me enough, which all the players really know Mama Tim, but
There you go. You had to put that in there, didn't you? You had to get Mama Tam in there one way or
yeah,
another.
everybody know Mama Tim.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, like what my real reason is, believe it or not, is to help these young men and women,
Mm-hmm.
because we have women
Mm-hmm.
now coming out,
Mm-hmm.
playing at this level. So, Like, as long as we can have order and structure, everybody can grow. Um, if they can advance just a little bit, I don't care if they go from jobless to job.
Mm-hmm.
That's an advancement to me. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
if they now understand and respect women and now are able to, you know, be more involved with their kids versus, fighting against the baby mamas and all of that. Kids didn't do any harm. Like, they have to understand that y'all could co-parent without being together. These are the things that, I feel is very important. And even over Christmas, I seen quite a few guys was upset because they couldn't be with their kids, even though they wanted to and everything. So, that kind of um, messed me up a little bit. I
Mm-hmm.
did reach out. I did reach out to them and everything and so forth like that. But, we just got to find a way to understand that one person cannot raise kids. And even when we get adult, we still need help from somebody. Even as
Okay.
adults, we still need help. So,
Mm.
me personally, a lot of players do reach out to me, which I have no problem with. Ed, my house be crowded on Sundays with all football players. We watching the game, we cooking out, so forth like that. And like, it's just what they're comfortable with, how they feel. Um, and they gotta be able to trust you.
Mm-hmm.
That whatever is going on, stays between you and that person. They have to understand that, like, yo, we're not enemies here. We're here to help and work with each other.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the players now, you know, everybody's going through a lot of different things. Me having the life skills to deal with so many different things, even as far as with grievances and everything and so forth, it can be draining. And if you really don't have that person that you could reach out um, to help support you, help guide you, help pull you up, help you recognize that you are a blessing. Like, that right there is so important because it cuts down a lot on all the suicides. It cuts down on a lot of the mental abuse, the depression, everything. I can't stress enough that everybody needs somebody, regardless how old you are. Sometime at some point in your life, you need somebody. And my whole
Mm-hmm.
thing is having everybody to understand that you have a family here, not just me. Reach out to your coach, reach out to one of your owners, reach out to somebody. Like, you do value, you are a value, and we
Mm-hmm.
will be there for you. You
Mm-hmm.
know, it starts as a kid, it ends as an adult.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems as though the adult numbers is getting lower and lower.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You're
You
so
know,
right. That is so true. I mean, I've seen it. I've been involved with it, so I know where you're coming from. And to those in the audience, she's speaking the truth. The numbers of people involved and what you see in the world. Just we see it in social media. We see it on the news. What she's speaking is definitely the truth. So, and this is a great way, a great avenue for people to get involved in, just bring a level of positivity to football, not just, going out there, knocking heads, hitting each other, making a dynamic catch. I mean, it's about when she says, and when you hear teams talk about family, you're seeing right now and you're feeling, what the League of All League Alliance is about. It's about family, and that's what she is. She's Mama Tam for a reason, so she's ahead of the family. So that's definitely a great selling point. So, what can people do to get involved with the League of All League Alliance to help the league in any capacity, whether it's working behind the scenes, whether it's funding, whatever it is. How can people get involved with you and the league?
well, that's easy. Either you could contact me on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
You could also reach out to me through email.
Mm-hmm.
We also do have a website where you can also reach out to me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, all the avenues. We have Twitter. We
Mm-hmm.
have all those also in place. Well, my whole thing is like, look, the League of All League um is open to have people to help out this league. I
Mm-hmm.
can't stress it enough. One person cannot run a league, especially the direction that we're trying to go, that we started growing with this
Mm-hmm.
developmental league. Like positive people that really care and they want to be about the growth and want to be about the change. Those are the people that we are interested in.
Okay.
You
Well,
know,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, I'm good.
No, to everyone. Basically, I'm going to have all that information in the description. So, you want to reach out to the League of All Leagues. Reach out to Mama Tam. She will definitely, she will definitely love the help, the support to help grow the league beyond, what it is doing now. I strongly recommend it. I believe in the vision. Always have been. Yes, as she said earlier, I was one of the ones to push her off the ledge. Instead of the mama bird pushing the little bird off the ledge, yeah, I was the big brother pushing the little sis off the ledge, because she can do it, and as she said, throughout, it's not perfect, but it is a successful mantra. It's a successful league in the regards of coming out and playing their games and being there for each other. Like in any family, you're always going to have disagreements. You're going to have siblings fighting, but ultimately they're there to protect and be there for each other. And if you want to be a part of that, definitely, please reach out to Mama Tam or any of the league executives associated with the League of All Leagues Alliance. So before we get out of here, Tammy, is there anything else you want the audience to know?
Watch out for me for 2023.
Okay, okay. She putting it out there. So
Yeah.
yes, watch out for her and the League of All League Alliance and all the teams. So I'll be looking forward to being at a game or two throughout the course of the year and giving some reports. And hopefully, some of you fans will also come in, check out a game if you're in the Philly, South, in Jersey, anywhere, or in New York. Hopefully you'll be there to check out a game or two. Um, Again, there'll be games on YouTube. Some games maybe even live stream. So there's different avenues, but I'm looking forward to seeing the league continue to grow and prosper, and hopefully you guys will be a part of this. So Tammy, thanks again for being here with this special Women in Sports episode today. I really, really appreciate you. You are doing an amazing job. So thank you for everything that you're doing for women in sports and the sport in general. So again, thank you. And to everyone out there, as I always say in sports, make sure you turn it on and turn it up. You all be safe. Peace.